Last night in California put me in a haze. Sanders, almost everybody on the street says they're voting for him. He has rallies of 50,000. Hillary can't get 1,000. She steals primaries openly, puts superdelegates in. The AP canvassed the superdelegates the night before and then already had the election results that they ran the next day. Ah, they're a criminal band, aren't they? And they're coming to your town, and they're going to rob you down. Get ready. There's Paul Watson right there outside the Bilderberg Group meeting hotel by the Presidential Imperial Palace, formerly the King's Palace, where the royalty is meeting. And then we're going to be talking to him here in just a moment. We have their agenda. This is huge. It's up on drudgereport.com, Infowars.com, you name it. We have one of the Hillary superdelegates months and months ago, back during the New Hampshire primary, saying it doesn't matter if he wins all the votes. I'm a California superdelegate out here in New Hampshire helping run things, and I'm going to give my vote to Hillary. We got his name and everything. But you see, they just did it. And some Democrats are in the news going, this is horrible. Yes, you're going to be called a crackpot now. They'll go, there was never a vote. There was never a vote. There's the article, Kit Daniels, February 12th, 2016, Hillary superdelegate, why your vote doesn't count. You scroll down, there's the video. Bob Mulholland. We're going to play that later. Just wanted to show everybody that. And I love his little arrogance, his little piggy arrogance, all the little goody indulgences and knickknacks and royal giblets, you know, little baronies, little duchies that are doled out to little mini viceroys on a regular basis. In fact, we have the clip now. Let's just play this. Then I'll go to the guys in Germany. Then the best, most powerful Trump clips ever. But first, here is the superdelegate openly bragging to InfoWars. Here it is.
We're here at the Red Arrow Diner, and we've gone further down the bar here, and we've found this gentleman. What's your name?
Bob Mulholland from Chico, California. I'm a DNC member, thus a superdelegate to the National Convention.
Wow, so that's the first time I can think of that I've talked with a Democratic superdelegate. Tell us, how long have you been a superdelegate? How long have you been delegate? And tell us a little bit more about the process of how you get to be a superdelegate.
There's several ways, but this will be my 11th national convention. I've been a superdelegate since 1992. In our case, in California, you have to get elected by the California Democratic Party to be on the DNC. Obviously, Democratic governors are automatic superdelegates.
So understandably, that it sounds like Hillary is going to have a huge edge when it comes to superdelegates. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, and former DNC chairs like Howard Dean, who's from Vermont, he's known Bernie for decades, he's for Hillary. Yeah, the people who have worked with Hillary for decades are big supporters of her. If they haven't said so yet, they will over the next several weeks.
So roughly, when it comes to the Democratic National Convention, what is the rough total of delegates that are going to be available for the DNC?
Right now, about 4,800. So you need about almost 2,400 to get the nomination. And the way we work is that anybody who gets 15% more in election gets delegates. So this election will go all the way to California. Sanders will end up with well over 1,000 delegates, and Hillary will get the nomination.
Okay, now the superdelegates
are
basically what Hillary...
See the full video up on Infowars.com in that original article that we should flash back. Now, he did it better than the Republicans. Priebus and Curley, whatever his name was, it was all over TV going, listen, it doesn't matter how you vote. You can do 100%. We decide. Or George Will, writing for the Washington Post, he just said, look, we don't go with a mere plurality of the public and a majority. There is sovereignty, he said, of this party. Sovereignty, royalty, royalty. Like the Bilderberg meeting in the former German royalty complex right now. Here's some of the headlines. Bilderberg leak, secretive group to discuss internet ID, global tax. We're going to go to them here in just a moment. But briefly, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new product back in stock that's been sold out for 5 months. In fact, it's been sold out so long that I almost said just change the formula, but Dr. Group didn't want to do it. It is the ultimate cleanse for all sorts of different parasites, from bacteria right down to you name it. And it has dramatic effects. It has incredible reviews. It's back in stock. The statistics are clear. 9 out of 10 people are infested with harmful organisms like Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry, I won't get rid of her. I'm being sarcastic. Once these organisms have made it inside your body, they steal your nutrients and release toxic waste. It's time to start eliminating toxic and harmful organisms from your body. The worms and stuff, crap inside you folks. Our InfoWars Life Living Defense Harmful Organism Cleanser is now back in stock at InfoWarsLife.com. I almost discontinued this because it's so hard to get the ingredients and it's been gone forever. Because everything, we got to have everything past California standards. And it's almost impossible, and we get the only best organic. It's just, folks know what we get 5 stars. Living Defense uses organic herbs and enzymes to help naturally cleanse harmful organisms from the body. Stock up and start cleansing now. InfoWarsLife.com. Before we sell it again, that's InfoWarsLife.com. Yeah, and we're really trying to up the production to be able to not run out. Here is Vic in Tucson, Arizona, says, Living Defense, this is done with deep cleanse, and neither had side effects. Easiest cleanse I've ever done with the ingredients of the product. Is terrific and well-priced. Thank you, Alex and crew. Here's one from Dan in Spring Hill, Florida. Living Defense is awesome. Taking Living Defense daily now has made a huge impact on my health and feeling of wellness. You have to try it for yourself. Yeah, it's also really good for you on a lot of other levels. Just go read all the ingredients. It's got the kitchen sink in it. So that's some of the exciting things that are happening right now. Secret 12 is a super high-quality organic form of absorbable vitamin B12. Most people can't absorb B12 in the stomach. It has to be absorbed through injections or in the mouth, preferably under the tongue. That's what this is for. It's 80% methylcobalamin. Then it has 20% another form of vitamin B12 that helps absorb it. What is it? Acinadylcobalamin? I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Just go read why this is the ultimate formula from our research, InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll-free, 888-253-3139. And don't forget, we have a new system from Alexa Pure. That is the Alexa Pure Breeze, 4-stage, incredible filter, does 800 square feet to 99.99% with 4 different filters, different technologies, 4 different ones. It runs almost silent. Comparable units are up to $1,000. You can get some other decent ones for $400. It is, ladies and gentlemen, still on sale. I didn't just keep running the sale. I heard the ad running, and I guess our ad guy is at a conference. And so I'm like, wow, that special's supposed to be gone. Pull that ad, thinking that it wouldn't be on the shopping cart for 26% off out of the gates. But it's still extended because the special's not been taken down. So you know what? I'm extending it until next week. Boom. I don't know if I'm authorized to do that, but I'm here, and train wrecks we will turn into lemonade. Big, fat, giant lemons, they are now lemonade for you. I wonder why the sales of it were still so high. This unit is cheap at $300, incredibly cheap at $224 like it normally is. It's $180-something right now. InfoWarsStore.com, out of the gates, only exclusively here. It's the same folks that make Alexa Pure Pro and all the great water filtration systems that you can get 10% off of with promo code WATER and get free shipping on orders $50 or more, and get 10% off. We sign up for auto ship on things like Living Defense, or things like X2, or things like Liver Shield. Or, I mean, it's all there. InfoWarsLife.com is the nutraceuticals. InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site. InfoWarsHealth.com is the full line of amazing longevity products, nutraceuticals. And when you purchase it there, at the biggest discounts that are out there, we make a small amount of money off each sale, and also helps fund the operation. InfoWarsHealth.com. Okay, shifting gears. We have had such a victory. We have the London Guardian. We have the London Independent. We have U.S. newspapers and publications. And CNBC, thanks to Drudge helping break the blockade 10 years ago, and, of course, InfoWars and others. We now have them going, okay, global elite are meeting, setting policy for world government, and local governments are upset, and the public's upset, and is this legal? And, yes, they're meeting, and our sources say that they're talking about carbon taxes, internet taxes, which is internet ID, to control and track what you do and kick you off the web if they want, and just this whole nightmare scenario. So this is such a gigantic victory that now people are saying, you know, the EU bureaucracy was set up by them, and no one voted to enter it, and it's dictatorial. How did this ever happen? See, once you start talking about shadow groups that run the EU and the NAU, they set up, that are now having politicians sign our sovereignty over to, it's the beginning of the end. See, the ultimate dictatorship has to be invisible, but we're shining light on it. Toto's pulling the curtain back. This is big, big, big. And who went to Bilderberg? Many times, Herr Hitlery. Who went when he was just an obscure governor? Oh, Bill Clinton. And moreover, there, the Germans come up to our reporters. They know about it. So to give us the latest on this is Paul Joseph Watson, who got the Bilderberg Group list, got it out first, drudgereport.com, link to it, and we're still dominating coverage. I'm very proud of our crew. Paul, you're there. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from where you normally live in London, but you're in Germany. Tell us what you've discovered there.
Well, getting in was interesting, Alex, because, of course, I came from Prague, flew to Prague from London, and then got the train from Prague into Dresden. Got a little bit of a light grilling by the German border police. They wanted to know where I come from, where I was going, what I was doing. Probably more invasive questions than some of the Syrian migrants would get coming into Germany.
They don't even allow screening of them. They admit that. Go ahead.
What was even more interesting, though, was getting in the taxi, talking to the taxi driver, and just driving past the train station here in Dresden. Because as I was getting in, the police were arresting migrants for drug dealing around the train station. They were actually putting them in the police car.
Oh, please, did you get video of that on your phone?
No, because I was speeding past in the taxi. But the taxi driver said that this is a huge problem recently. Tunisian drug dealers around that area, that's their turf. That's where they go. He said that the police are arresting them almost on a daily basis, but then they get out of jail the next day and they're back on the streets. So the very first conversation I had, I didn't even bring up the subject. And he started talking about how they brought in 5,000 of these migrants, about how the crime has risen in Germany. In fact, there's a report out of Reuters on Infowars.com right now, which says that 69,000 crimes have been attributed to migrants in the first quarter of 2016. But the spin, the lie, is that they say that's, quote, disproportionately low for migrants. But if you actually drill into the reports, the German crime statistics for the past year, there are 400,000 crimes committed by migrants. They're overrepresented in terms of their population by 2 to 1. So they're around.
Well, look at rape alone. Look at rape alone, Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought that up as well. And he said that, there's a big cover-up regarding that, as we know. So this lie we've been told, I mean, obviously we've got the huge Brexit thing going on in the UK right now. Nigel Farage went on a debate show last night and merely brought up what happened in Cologne. Immediately the next day, in every single British newspaper, he was being attacked as a racist by the Archbishop, as a racist, simply for bringing attention to what happened in Cologne and saying, bringing in this number of people at such a pace, given the criminality that we've seen, might be a bit of a problem. He was castigated as a racist for doing so. So now the media is starting to admit that this is an issue, but they're blaming it on right-wingers. In fact, in the police report that they released here back in May, it was a couple of weeks ago now, they blamed the rise in crime on the German right wing committing thought crimes, going on Facebook and, God forbid, criticizing their government's migrant
Well, that's
policy.
like the mayor of Cologne said it's the women's fault they're getting raped because they're too hot.
Yeah, and in fact, there was a report out of Norway a couple of weeks ago where they're seeing a similar rise in crime, and the media there blamed it on Nordic drinking culture. Like there's never been drinking culture
Look, this
in
is
Norway
an
before.
absolute program of evil, and it's intensifying, and this is the breakdown of Europe into the Middle East. This is the implosion of the U.S. into Latin America. This is the world government. We're seeing the formation. This is what Peter Sutherland, that founded the EU, said it would be. The head of the EU then goes down to be the head of the migrant board, who advertises, opens the border, brings them in. Now, Paul, from my sources and relaying to you and your sources, we have the Bilderberg leak, secretive group to discuss Internet ID, global tax. Let's get to that. That's big.
Well, of course, they've been pushing this Internet ID in communist China for at least 10 years now. In fact, Lieberman came out and called for it, 10 years ago now, this online ID where they can track dissent by linking it to a social credit score. Now, in China, they've started it off with one of the big corporations, Alibaba, and the communist government is starting to adopt it. That's the second phase of it. And it links what people buy online, what comments they make on social media, to their credit score. So if they get downvoted by other loyal, obedient citizens, their credit score goes down. They have less privilege, less access to the internet. Of course, we see that on Reddit. The people who get upvoted more get more privilege.
And
when
that's
it comes
what
to
the EU.
comments.
That's what the EU proposal, which is the bureaucracy runs thing. Just last week, they proposed that and said, just like the Chinese model, they'll have that social score.
Exactly, because studies show that people read news articles on the internet and they don't necessarily believe the narrative in the actual article. In some cases, they go immediately to the comments and see what other people are saying. And because the comments are so drastically in favor of, the kind of narratives that we're all about and against this dominant narrative that multiculturalism and diversity is working great, which it clearly isn't, they're afraid of that because people are reading the comments and getting their narrative from that rather than the spin being put out by the media. So that's why we've seen major websites shut down comment sections, and that's why they're moving now, as he said, with the EU. And Bilderberg is here this week to discuss the same thing, having this internet passport, where you have to get de facto permission from the government to comment on social media. Obviously, it's not gone that far yet, but that's how they plan to introduce it, by saying, oh, it's so convenient. You're using different passwords for each different account. That's so messy. We're going to correlate that into a single internet passport so we can track everything.
Which will be
you do.
biometrically accessed.
Yeah, and it's not happening right now, but that's what they want to move
That's their
towards.
admitted plan. That's why they're waging a war on cash. Now, Paul, tell us what else, because we're going to go to break in a moment. What else is on your front burner? What else you plan to cover? 'Cause let me tell you, I understand you're speeding by, you want to get somewhere, but man, if you just said pull over, got some of that on tape, an interview, or bring the crew back to show, because they'll say those were Germans dealing drugs. Bet your bottom dollar.
No, they'll say they're right-wing thought criminals. Yeah, we're going to go back to the train station because there's a lot of activity around there, and as the taxi driver said, it's been a huge problem.
Well,
in that area.
Rob Dude's not a Mr. Start a Fight guy, but he's tough, so I just want to see one of those punks try to go up and punch him and see him lay down like those Germans have been doing. They're going to get their head torn off.
But he said that the police just maintained a constant presence because it's so prolific, the drug dealing, that they're just sweeping them up every day, but then releasing them. So we're going to go back there and take a look at what's happening.
Sure, that's like that guy that they arrested twice, robbing stores. They were in Germany. They arrested him a third time. Vigilantes come and take him to the police, and now they're arresting them. robbing a store
blamed.
3 times in one day. I mean, this government is working against you because it works for foreign globalists. We'll be back with Paul Watson from Dresden, Germany. I'm Alex Jones. All right, I've got Donald Trump clips coming up that are bombshell, and I'll get to these at the start of the next hour. I mean, he really took the gloves off with Hillary. He blasted Hillary and a rigged system. He says he will be America's champion and will not let us down. We'll put America first. He points out he's got more votes than any other Republican ever. He points out that he welcomes all the new voters. Points out that he thrives on peace and isn't a warmonger. I mean, this is strong. Paul Watson, describe again where you are for TV viewers and radio listeners, and have Rob Dew or Josh Owens pan around for us a little bit as you're there in Dresden, Germany, covering the global secret elite meeting that for 40 years they made fun of people and said didn't exist, and that now they admit does exist and runs our new unelected super governments. Oh, by the way, their philosophy is eugenics. You might want to look into that if you're a new listener or a viewer. Paul Watson.
Yeah, we're here in Dresden, Germany for the 2016 Bilderberg conference. They've blocked off the outer perimeter to the Kempinski Hotel here. Obviously, our reporters got kicked out of the hotel earlier today, which Rob will tell you about. And we're here. There's not a massive police presence right now. Obviously, that's going to increase tomorrow when the attendees start arriving, which is usually around 11 in the morning to 12 midday. So that's when we're expecting the most activity. There'll be a big flurry of activity then. A couple of other things. There's a Bilderberg attendee called Peggy Noonan, who is a writer for the Wall Street Journal, who follows me on Twitter. So she must be a big fan of my YouTube videos. And
No, she's a fan of you covering Bilderberg because she's gone before.
Yeah, so I asked her out on a date. I asked her to go for a coffee in Dresden. Haven't heard back yet, so I'm looking forward to that if it happens. And the other thing is, Hillary Clinton's schedule is clear for the next couple of days. She's visited Bilderberg before. Obviously, that's unlikely, but she doesn't have any events over the next couple of days, so we'll watch out for that.
All right, Paul, I want to talk to Dew or Josh Owen. I know you're busy filing reports. Great job. I hope you go back to migrant camps. I hope you're obviously going to fly a drone over those. I want to show these drug dealers and what's going on. And I know at these train stations, folks do try to attack people, so be careful. I know after Bilderberg's over, you guys are going to spend a few days going to Cologne and some other areas to document the no-go zones. But any other points you want to make?
Now, just the point on the leak that we got, which is the global tax. That's something they've pushed before. They want either a tax on the oil well, a tax on international financial transactions, or a green tax for flights. And that's kind of hypocritical.
And that'll be the start on all carbon. That's the carbon tax.
Yeah. Well, they're using massive amounts of energy just staying in this hotel for a few days. So Rob's going to talk more about that.
All right, Paul, great job. You go ahead and hand the baton over literally to Dew, and then I'll spend a few minutes with Owens coming back here. Dew, what else has happened in the last 24 hours? Oh, they're switching out right now. But again, this is real media, teleprompter free, folks. We're not playing games. We're exposing the criminals right now. The Legion of Doom meeting right behind Rob Dew if you're a TV viewer. If you're a radio listener, Infowars.com/show to find the free feeds. And find the limited edition. When these sell out, we're going to have a new edition of the Hillary for President shirt that I just ordered today. So these will sell out in the next few weeks. Hillary for President 2016, InfoWarsStore.com. And your purchase helps support the broadcast. We're going to come back with more with you, Dew, but what else has happened in the last 24?
Well, last night when we got back to our hotel, we had this letter on the letterhead of the hotel, which I do have in my possession.
Oh, I forgot about that being thrown out, yes.
Yeah, exactly. We hereby inform you that you have to be out by noon. There's no, you cannot stay any time past noon. And if you don't get your car out of the garage by noon, we're going to hold on to it. So they basically said they're going to steal your car, and there's nothing you can do about it because the lovely globalists are coming and nothing can stand in their way. Yet
and the taxpayers are paying for the military to be there. And let's aim the camera down. You got to walk up to the, when we come back in 60 seconds, 70, we got to walk over and talk to the police at the checkpoint. Now, I know they're German police, very polite till you mess with them, and then, well, you know what happens. But we're going to find out what's going on. Of course, we had to teach the little Germans a little lesson, didn't we? We'll be right back. Stay with us. I'm Alex Jones.
If I was just gonna like attach an idea to it, it's gonna be dangerous freedom.
Last night in California put me in a haze. Sanders, almost everybody on the street says they're voting for him. He has rallies of 50,000. Hillary can't get 1,000. She steals primaries openly, puts superdelegates in. The AP canvassed the superdelegates the night before and then already had the election results that they ran the next day. Ah, they're a criminal band, aren't they? And they're coming to your town, and they're going to rob you down. Get ready. There's Paul Watson right there outside the Bilderberg Group meeting hotel by the Presidential Imperial Palace, formerly the King's Palace, where the royalty is meeting. And then we're going to be talking to him here in just a moment. We have their agenda. This is huge. It's up on drudgereport.com, Infowars.com, you name it. We have one of the Hillary superdelegates months and months ago, back during the New Hampshire primary, saying it doesn't matter if he wins all the votes. I'm a California superdelegate out here in New Hampshire helping run things, and I'm going to give my vote to Hillary. We got his name and everything. But you see, they just did it. And some Democrats are in the news going, this is horrible. Yes, you're going to be called a crackpot now. They'll go, there was never a vote. There was never a vote. There's the article, Kit Daniels, February 12th, 2016, Hillary superdelegate, why your vote doesn't count. You scroll down, there's the video. Bob Mulholland. We're going to play that later. Just wanted to show everybody that. I love his little arrogance, his little piggy arrogance, all the little goody indulgences and knickknacks and royal giblets, you know, little baronies, little duchies that are doled out to little mini viceroys on a regular basis. In fact, we have the clip now. Let's just play this. Then I'll go to the guys in Germany. Then the best, most powerful Trump clips ever. But first, here is the superdelegate openly bragging to InfoWars. Here it is.
We're here at the Red Arrow Diner, and we've gone further down the bar here, and we've found this gentleman. What's your name?
Bob Mulholland from Chico, California. I'm a DNC member, thus a superdelegate to the National Convention.
Wow, so that's the first time I can think of that I've talked with a Democratic superdelegate. Tell us, how long have you been a superdelegate? How long have you been delegate? And tell us a little bit more about the process of how you get to be a superdelegate.
There's several ways, but this will be my 11th National Convention. I've been a superdelegate since 1992. In our case, in California, you have to get elected by the California Democratic Party to be on the DNC. Obviously, Democratic governors are automatic superdelegates.
So understandably, that it sounds like Hillary is going to have a huge edge when it comes to superdelegates. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, and former DNC chairs like Howard Dean, who's from Vermont, he's known Bernie for decades, he's for Hillary. Yeah, the people who have worked with Hillary for decades are big supporters of her. If they haven't said so yet, they will over the next